So the way I describe it is that disabled people at the minute are the last dog at the bowl. So it's like we need to, if you're going to be in the media, if you're going to try and break through this, it's already a hard industry anyway to be in. And I've been really, really lucky in my time for people to trust me to do the job that they're asking me to do, and I've had to work really hard. I feel like we have to be better than everybody else at what we do, because in order to be seen as an equal, I feel like in my head that we need to be better than them just to get equal footing.
People's got this perception that because you're in a wheelchair, because I've got cerebral palsy, well, we both have, and people actually see the disability before they see the person.
Aye, but what do you expect them to see? So this is the thing about me that's important for disabled people to understand, is that that's just the way the world works. So whether you've got a disability, whether it's to do with colour, race, gender, disability, I feel like that. So I'll give you an example that I use quite a lot, that when I worked on Newsround, right, I knew that when I did my first live, that kids and parents and teachers and fellow journalists would see me on the telly and they'd go, oh, look at that guy in the wheelchair, right? But then when I went to my third live or my fourth live, they would go, oh, there's Martin. So it's about it's about understanding that the first impression is always going to be about your disability, and I think it comes down to accepting that, because that's just part of human nature. I think even when I see people and they've got certain features, or they're dressed a certain way, or you know what I mean, or they speak a certain way, then that's the first thing I recognise about them. And okay, I might put them in a wee box for a wee while, but then 10 minutes later after I've spoke to them, that changes. I just think that is human nature. It's our job really to make sure that we get that opportunity to show what we're really about, because on first impressions I just feel like that's what's going to happen.
See, when you think about it, back then they weren't talking about disability as much as they do now. And I'll tell you something else as well, they wouldn't have a kind of like talking head on the telly or on the radio talking about disability. Would you say that it was a kind of like taboo subject kind of back then?
Aye, I think so. I think if you were to ask my parents what they thought I was going to do when I was younger, when I was older, but you know what I mean, like if my parents back then when I was at school, if they were to be asked what's Martin going to do when he's older, it would have been two options. So they would have said he's either going to no work at all and he's just going to live on disability benefits and just sort of live his life that way, or he'll work in a factory with disabled employment at the heart of it, really, and that will be Martin's life. I think that maybe I feel like sometimes my ticket was already marked in terms of how people thought that I was going to progress through life, and maybe I've even surprised myself. But I think that just goes to show you where we were at, really, and that was accepted, but I don't think that would be accepted now.